Yo, bartender. Bar's closed. Hey, yo, bartender, what's good? Let me get a drink, man. Let me get a shot.
Hey, man, I know you just put up to the bar, but we closed.
Come on, man. You gotta be able to give me a shot, man. Come on.
You look like you need a drink, man, but I hate to tell you this, man. We about to close.
So you need to tell me all these people out here, they got drinks and they got shots, but I can't let the bar close that soon.
Okay, man, I don't know what else to say. I got this show that half my eggs at the crib. I'm trying to get to it. But the last call was 10 minutes ago.
You know what? It's all right. Don't even worry about it.
All right. Tell you, I'm going to get you one drink. It look like it.
One drink? I can do one drink. I can do one drink. Because I really
Hey, man, anything, man. Look like you got a lot on your mind. You ain't saying that. Pour it on.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things I want to brought to you by is Camo Dumpsters.
Yes.
This is a garbage company that, again, I'm the VP and I'm doing great things with it, but I want you to be able to know right now it's not all the way in Georgia, but it is definitely coming. But one thing I can tell you is we're up in Tennessee and we're doing big things. I'm trying to make my way into Nashville. I ain't going to tell you everywhere I'm going because really I want to be more of a surprise, okay? I didn't think I was into all that. But a lot of times when you tell somebody, Craft, where you're going and what you're doing, the enemy seems to give you opposition.
Yes.
So I'm going to sneak behind my enemy, and I'm going to surprise you on what all I'm going to do. But just understand, I'm up and I'm rolling. I'm doing great things. I'm all the way in Wrigley. I'm in Missouri. So don't worry about where I was. Just understand where I'm going. I'm going to be in your next door before you know it. And that's Camo. That's what I'm trying to do. Now I got to get back to this person been rocking me over 6 years. This man comes in with a smile each and every time. Craftmatic, how you doing that night, big baby?
I'm doing fabulous, Jay. Man, everything is lovely, bro.
Oh, is
lovely.
It?
You know, life is interesting, man. You know, when challenge comes, you just got to break through it.
Yes, we
Keep
do.
a smile on your face. You know, you've been talking about my smile for years.
Yes, man.
And
let me tell you something. It's like the secret to your soul, bro.
It is.
It's hard to hide behind that.
Absolutely.
It just lets you know you set focus on it daily.
Yes.
And you make sure you do it. And I want to say I'm proud of you because, again, I know everybody go through things.
Yeah.
And I know you ain't perfect.
Yeah, of course not.
But that smile you got is captivating.
Yeah, man, I keep it on the inside, and most of the time it comes to the outside. But you know, life is hurdles, life is ups and downs, and so you know, when I'm by myself, I find myself doing a lot of praying and you know, reflecting and do a lot of self-talk too, man. Okay. You know, that's the key to the equation.
Can I tell you the truth?
What's that, bro?
I just say that, man, for the women that know how you always got that high flow grow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I want to make sure you have some of them problems I have.
I do, bro. I do. But listen, the problems you have are good problems.
Oh, those are growth problems.
Those are growth problems, man. Right? If I had the amount of growth that you got going on right now, man, you know,
everybody in this room got growth, but I promise you, it's at different spurts at different times. But what I love about it, we don't hate on each other.
There you go. There you go. And listen, a great way to introduce ourselves.
Let's start.
This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay.
In the building.
And of course, we are here to liberate your minds and souls with a fantastic dialogue. We just sit here and chop it up over a subject.
Yes.
And what we notice is that there is growth that happens as we discuss this subject. Not only for us, but for you, our audience. We're hoping that you can hear our stories and our opinions and the things that we share here and find a way to grow.
Yes.
You know, this rich dialogue really gets to the essence of some of the things that we may be dealing with in real life. This is not about just surface stuff. We wanted to, you know, create a set where we could, you know, discuss a subject and really get to the bottom of it. Really figure out some wisdom and some real understanding about the subject, and that's exactly what we do here. So we are truly grateful for you folks being here with us tonight. Again, it's just our opportunity to be leaders here in the community. And, of course, we always start the show off with a prayer.
Yes, we
do. I don't know, Jay, if you got a prayer in you tonight.
You know something? I'm going to go for it this time.
Okay.
You know why? Because I always push it off on you, and that's not fair.
Okay.
You know, it's like in any great things that we bring together, sometimes you got to put yours in. So tonight I'm going to do this one. It's going to be a prayer over abundance.
All right.
I want to ask the Lord to listen and heal all the ones that's been going through great and things that they didn't understand. I ask for abundance of them understanding what you have from other than the abundance of what they want. I like to say, Lord, they always come to you with their problems and don't understand that sometimes they need the understanding to get through the problems that they have. And that's your anointing.
Yes.
That's the power that you have to be able to open up an eye that see material things to spiritual things, the spiritual journey that they really need to be on, and not the materialistic things that they follow. I want them to be able to follow you and your words, for they can have an abundance of love. I want you to do everything in your power to help them when they don't even think they need help, even myself, my crew, and everybody around me. Keep blessing us with your anointing and your words in front of us, for we can guide off of that melody, for we can stay in harmony. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. What an awesome prayer, Jay. What an awesome prayer. Right down my alley, because, see, the world just oftentimes doesn't understand that if you want money, if you want things and stuff, if you want certain things that we might call reality, you don't get it just through reality. You receive those things through understanding. Right?
You gotta tell me twice.
You got to have understanding. If you're going to make more money, you have to understand the wisdom that it takes to get more out of life, to get more money, to get more customers, to get less expenses. There's always intelligence in front of realities.
Come on.
And so when you start to reach for intelligence rather than things and stuff, you grow in magnificent ways. You grow in ways that you don't know you need to be growing. And that's why, intelligence and wisdom and seeking God's understanding will take you to any promised land that you're trying to get to.
Yes.
It's just the way life works. And so we need to all just take a step back. And if you identify something you want in life, take it to him. See, he knows the path. He knows the avenues. He knows the right action. He knows what he needs to put in you, what understandings he need to put in you to get you to your goal, right? And sometimes those understandings are just that you can, he just put a little stronger faith in you. He just put a little stronger understanding about who you are.
Yes.
And once he grounds you in a greater you, then you can experience a greater life.
Okay.
But you're never going to experience a greater life until you become a greater you.
All right.
That's the way it works, Jay.
I like that.
That's exactly the way it works. And so let's jump right into our message for today. I didn't mention it, but today we are talking about mistrust.
Ooh.
I'm wondering if anybody has dealt with some trust issues.
Okay.
With friends, or family, loved ones, or bosses,
throwing daggers,
co-workers.
throwing daggers.
This is an issue that can hinder you from progress, right? Because sometimes you have people who don't have pure intentions running with you, right? People who you're supposed to be able to lean on, but they're not thinking the way you're thinking. They don't have the same level of loyalty that you have. They don't have the same level of patience that you have. And so how do you deal with people that you don't trust? And how do you oftentimes determine if you can trust someone or not? Maybe you don't even know them that well. What is the process that we go through to understand trust? Tell me about mistrust in your world, Jay.
Man, look, I was so eager just to run in and talk about this. But when I'm starting to think about it, it's nothing that I want to run into. It's one of the things I try to keep from. It's a word that's very powerful, and I'm glad it's one that was picked.
Yes.
Because I have difficulties with it, but I don't show it.
Okay.
And one of them is my trust factor is based off of me. And the things that I trust is that, like, I push myself to do certain things. So, again, I try to be a man of my word. Okay. So I keep up with what other people say.
Yes.
So when they don't keep their word, then I automatically got a somewhat of a trust issue, but I don't try to bring it as just that. I try to look at what processes and what might have happened. And I know things happen. So I don't really trip, but I know it's just one of those things that I keep is in front of me. Usually when somebody says certain things and I really feel like they might not even know what it means. And I'm going to hit y'all over the head with one. One of them is love. I hear somebody say love all the time, but then the acts and the things that they do does not add up to love to me. But they say it all the time.
That's good, Jay.
And I be wondering, why will you keep saying something and you show something so different?
And when let's just analyze that for a minute.
Let's go for it.
Why does that happen? They say they love you,
right,
but their actions don't line up. So when their actions don't line up, is that your misperception or is that their misactivity? What's going on?
I think
there?
it's their coping mechanism that they do to make that stay in front of you compared to their action. So it's like smoke and mirrors. If I say I love you and I know I'm doing things other than love, and I'm over here doing a whole lot of wrongful things, I want you to stay focused on the love. I love you. So it puts your attention there, then their actions over here, where I done learned to quit listening to what you say and start looking at what you do, and they should line up.
Yeah,
I need a balance between us, and it don't work with you just saying it. Now, please, for anybody out there to say it all the time and you show love and compassion, I'm not talking about you. Don't put this shoe on. It's not for you.
Right.
But when you run into this, you're going to say Jay told you, because you're going to run into that person that's always saying and always doing something totally to hurt you and do everything against you, but they always throw that word up there first. And I really feel like they're misusing the word, and that's why I have a problem. I'm always hearing it. Because now I'm always key to see what you're doing. You just can't come up and tell me you love me. Yes, you can. But I'm just saying, you come up, I don't have to accept it. So again, somebody say, I love you and nothing you can do with it. Yes, I don't have to accept it. I don't have to accept anything to what I want. And if you're not healthy for me and you ain't right for me, I don't have to accept that, nor I need to be around that.
Right.
Because my biggest problem, I felt like I want to be around everybody. Everybody got love. I got love. But I didn't always use love. I used to care for a long time. You used to hear what I always say, I care.
Right.
Why would I throw a strong word in there and it's not always there? I like to have a build up. Some people like to throw it all out there. That's just love. No, that's all love, bro. Love this, love that. But then you doing things to hurt people.
Right.
And that's not love, bro.
Right.
That's not even care. That's you being you. That's you being selfish.
Yeah.
But yet you call yourself a man of God. That's not a godly thing.
Right.
Don't use his name along with them bad behaviors, because that's not how I see him.
Right.
And that's not how I want to see you. So I don't have a problem having a corrected conversation with a person that's saying things that's all off the mark. But my whole thing is, before I say anything, I want to see action.
Yeah, and let's just break that down even just a little more. That there are a lot of people who don't really understand what love is.
Okay.
Most of our love is based on what we have seen in the world.
True.
Most of our love is based on what we think love is.
Exposure.
Right? But I tell you, I am at a point now, in a place in my life where, my love is becoming even more and more unconditional, which means that I don't have to prove my love to you.
Oh, say that.
I can love you without trying to show you. Just because you don't understand my love doesn't mean that I don't love you. Right? But see, I'm even more so learning that love is actually a very tough thing. Because you just think about a parent loving their child.
Okay.
Right? That you got to be tough on them. If you love them, you got to make sure that you keep them on a straight and narrow. Okay. And that means disciplining them. That means saying no. That means, getting them back in line when they do wrong. Right. That is real love. You can't think that it's love if you just let them run random. If you don't give them responsibilities, that's not love.
Right.
Right? What you're doing is I like you. Right? If you got kids and your kids need direction and you don't give them direction, you might like them, but you're not really showing love.
I agree.
And the children will not understand that. Right? The children really will not understand that. Let's make it a little more taxing.
Go for it.
Let's say you're in a relationship with someone and you love that person.
Right.
But this person will not do right. You cannot trust this person.
That's about right.
They might cheat on you. They might use up the money and the resources, not rightly. They might do any number of things. But if you love them, you can love them from afar.
Ooh. Oh, you throwing something.
That's a tough one, right?
It ain't as tough, but you talking.
I love you enough to let you be who you are, because you can't change people.
No, you can't.
Not from the outside. You can change them from the inside. That means if they see that they're hurting you and they realize it on the inside, they say, wow, I feel bad because I hurt this person. That's them changing from the inside. But you're not ever going to change them from the outside. They're not going to say that they love you more just because they can't say that they love you more because you're about to quit them.
Right.
Right?
I mean,
it doesn't happen that way.
Talk about that part.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that way. And so sometimes Love is about letting people go find themselves. And sometimes you have to love yourself when other people can't love you. When other people don't know how to love, they can say the words, but they're not showing loyalty. They're not showing dedication. They're not showing the rich spirit of love. And so what you got to do is you got to say, I love them, but I'm not going to diminish myself because of that love. I'm not going to let myself be sideswiped and bamboozled and hurt and be mistreated because of that. So what I need to do is I need to create separation.
Come on, space.
And it's going to hurt me to create separation, but I'm actually honoring myself and I'm honoring them too.
Oh, I got to jump in this one.
Oh yeah, Jay.
I just got to jump in because it's one of the things that I do now that I did not do before. Before I got in my feelings and I was quick to lash out and say things that I have to say later on. I'm sorry. I'm no longer saying I'm sorry no more.
Yes.
If you come at me and I feel like you might be coming at me in an aggressive way or a way that I don't appreciate, I don't just shut down. I don't get in my feelings, and I'm not going to talk to you at that point.
Right.
I got to give you space to think about the things that you said. I don't want you to apologize for them. I want you to be open and transparent with me because, again, I have to take time to accept what you got to say, get out my feelings, and then go with the facts.
Right.
Once I get that, and again, so a lot of people, you ain't going to walk away from me while we having this discussion. Sometimes you do have to walk away and give it time. I don't quit people, but I will allow you to quit me. Okay? Because whoever I'm with, I'm with. Yeah. We ride, okay?
Yeah.
That ride or die ain't binary inclined. This is about us not giving up and putting giving up on the table.
Right.
But I will tell you I have to give some things some time because I'm not going to accept everything. Every time you bring me something, I don't have to accept it. It gives me time for I can understand if I want to or not. And then it's going to cause another conversation that I feel like be more intelligent than me being in my feelings.
Right.
Because my feelings would make me lash out and say things that I might regret. I'm tired of regret.
See, you're listen, and here's the key to that.
Go for it.
If you're in your feelings, your feelings will cause you to operate outside of love.
Oh, say it again.
Okay.
All right.
Because
talking.
I'm hurt.
Right.
And so now when I respond based on my feelings, it might look like hate. It might look like I don't like you.
Say it again.
It might look like I'm your enemy if I'm responding from my feelings, right?
Surely.
But see, love doesn't respond in a hateful way.
How does it?
Love doesn't respond in a testy way. What love does is says, I honor you. I honor you for your actions. I honor you for what you're saying, but I don't have to be who you want me to be. I don't have to love the way you want me to love. What you want me to do is you want me to show love and listen to your BS or your nonsense and dishonor myself. But that's not what we're going to do. And so, love will, they say love is a double-edged sword. Right? That, sometimes, people have been known to strike back because they love you so much.
Yeah, they say that.
Right? But in all, love doesn't ever have that kind of response, right? We are operating out of our anger. We're operating out of our disappointment. We're operating out of our sadness or out of our pain. And sometimes those things will diminish our sense of love. And that's where we have to listen to the still small voice on the inside. It's almost like we really can't listen to the person inside of us. We got to listen to the person outside of us. We got to listen to the person inside of us, right? And so, you get in your feelings and you get mad and you get upset. You got to kind of let that go a little bit, and you got to listen to the small still voice. And the small still voice that says, you know what? They really don't understand love. You know what? They don't love me. Sometimes it's just that simple. I hear them, I see them, and, rather than get upset, let me just realize that they don't love me. And let me change my course and go a different direction, right? Love can cause you to separate yourself from people. And that doesn't sound like it's supposed to be that way, right? It doesn't sound, love doesn't sound like, love sounds like it's always together and we're always, we're always connected, but it actually doesn't be that way. Think about the mother who have saved their child from worldly troubles.
Right.
Over and over and over and over. And so what the mom or the parent has been doing is enabling the child because they've been giving in to their nonsense.
Okay.
But at a certain point, what love will look like is that I can't save you anymore. I have to let you fix yourself. I have to let you run into the brick wall. You know, we were talking about the men's meeting this past week that sometimes love is extremely tough, you know, and what mom wants to do is she want to curse you out. She want to tell you about yourself. Right? She want to get in her feelings, but the reality is that if she does get in her feelings, it takes her out of love. You know, and so you know, again, people just don't simply understand what love is. Now, if we shift directions, we said love versus actions. Let's talk about the actions of love. What does it mean when someone is not living up to love through their actions, Jay?
Well, let's talk about how it feels to feel love. Okay. Before we go with the opposite, let's go with that. And how it feels to be is when a person does kind things to you, wakes you up on an inspirational quote or saying, when they check on you throughout the day, when they show you a care that shows you love, you know, making sure that you eat, making sure that, you know, that you make your meeting, that she heard you when you said you had to do some things, so she reminds you. Okay, these are all acts of kindness.
Yes,
that can be contributed right back to an action of love.
Yes,
you know, when a person lights up when they see you, I always believe in being celebrated, not tolerated.
Right.
When somebody just, oh my God, you just bring that joy into the room for them.
Yes.
Now everybody else wondering who you are. You know, I love it when your woman make you feel like a celebrity.
Yeah, when she make you feel like a king.
Yes, when you walk in the room, that's my man.
That's
my
baby. Yeah.
That is a wonderful feeling that I don't think that everybody feels, but you need to feel it. I don't give a dang if you're young or old.
Yes.
A person should infuse you with that kind of feeling. And when you infuse with it, you enjoy it, okay? It's not you have to.
Well,
it's just a great feeling when it's in you.
Yeah.
And that person brings it out of you. I'm telling you, it's a wonderful thing. That's why I want to go there before I went to it.
That is a wonderful thing. In fact, that is the most wonderful thing on the face of this earth. Jay.
Ooh, say it.
There really is nothing more powerful than to feel loved. And to be surrounded by people who you know without a shadow of a doubt loves you. They're not judging you by your past. They're not trying to, you know, take something from you or get something from you, but they're showing genuine, affectionate love. And I like what you said here, that they check on you.
Yes.
You know, that's how you know somebody's thinking about you.
Yes.
If somebody's calling you or sending you a message or stopping by and saying hello, you know, you can be at work just doing 100,000 things, and your old buddy who used to work in the department, where he said, man, I just came by to see you. I just came by to see how you doing, man. Shake your hand. What's happening, bro? How you doing?
Make you proud.
You immediately feel that love. You can experience the wholeness of love. People bring you food, people who respect your timing, people who celebrate you.
Yes.
That's real love.
It is.
But you and I both know, Jay, it's
okay. Now we go to other.
It's not happening a lot, right? It's not happening a lot, and so you know.
Let me have some fun.
Go ahead, please, because
I like to have some fun. I used to for a long time. I give out inspirational quotes to a lot of different people. They wasn't always mine, but I always found one, and then again, if somebody gave me one, I used that one, and I put it out there to a lot of different people, and it was just to inspire some folks starting the day off.
Yeah.
And, you know, through time, because, again, I don't know everybody know how I move, I just don't sit here and do this show. There's other things I do. I am the VP of Camo, but I was also with Dispose. So, and I always work with big garbage companies, and that's what I mainly did. But even in doing that, I always thought about you start your day off on a positive note. So I find a quote, affirmation. One, I find one for me. Then I put one out for the world. So this is how I start my day off. So I might do it on Facebook, or I just do it through text. And when I do it through text, I never do it in a group. I feel like that's disrespectful. I'm doing the individuals. Normally, whoever just joined my show, I would do it as a text, especially if it's on Messenger or whatever. Just these different quotes. You know, again, it's nothing just for me. It's out there in the public. But I just share them just to make sure everybody start their day off right. And then I didn't do it because I got so busy. I wasn't able to do it. I fell behind a little bit. So, of course, that was one of the things I just didn't get a chance to get to. And then I get a thing back next day like, yo, what happened to my quote? Or what happened to my early morning inspiration? And I'm sitting there like, yeah, it was a crazy day. I had a lot going on. And then a light bulb went off in my head. It was like, well, thank you for asking about it, but, you could have at least sent me one. I've been doing this, and I've been doing it faithfully for a while, and it wasn't for me to get next to you. It was to me inspire you, but obviously it didn't work because the day I didn't do it, you didn't do it for nobody, nor did you do it back for me. But yet you came for me. Like, something must be wrong with you because you didn't send this out. And truthfully, that day, nothing was wrong with me. I just got so busy. And then I had that mistrust in my mind now of what I got you. And I don't know you like that, so I'm not going to bust you out with a name.
Right.
But I could tell you left a name and an impression on me that made me know what I'm not going to be doing for that person.
Right.
Because I ain't feel appreciated. Don't do me when I'm doing kind acts out there. And you can see I'm doing it because I've been doing it for a while. But a lot of time people look at it the wrong way. And I'll be like, okay, I can start seeing what people say, well, he must really be into me. My whole thing is kindness is kindness. And if I'm showing it to you, then you should be understand me. But when you can't regurgitate or bring some things back, then it shows a little bit about your character, not mine.
Yeah.
Because I'm human. I'm prone not to be able to do something. But it wasn't because I had an attitude towards anybody.
Right.
It's just I got so busy and I stay busy. So I wasn't even able to go back to that. And I always liked that. But what I didn't forget, Kraft, is finding my own. I still find my own because I wake up on 100 for a reason. Y'all just don't understand. We don't know how much time we got on this planet, okay?
Yeah.
And I keep hearing about heaven and hell. It's in your head and where you want to be. And my heaven is starting it off on the most positive note as possible because I know I'm going to get pulled down throughout the day. And I do not want to be on 0 by the end of the day. Yeah. I don't mind being on 50.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to go to sleep and I'm going to get right back on 100.
Right back up on 100.
But when I wake up and I don't get on 100, then it's pulling from me throughout the day. So now I'm not at 50, I'm at 40 and 30, and next thing you know, I'm drained, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I want to encourage as many people in my life as possible. So I wake up on that notion, not saying that I won't wake up tomorrow. It's up to the Lord. Right. But when he lets me out or allows me to wake up, it's up and I'm on fire. I have to have that fire he was talking about. I got to get mad because I got another day. So what can I can accomplish without sitting on there crying like everybody else, complaining like everybody else, and being in a negative aspect of life when I can be on the most positive because he gave me another day. I can add to everything that I've done from yesterday, and I got another day to do better.
Right.
That right there is something I can't buy. So when you chasing money and you chasing your dream, please understand when that day come where you can't wake up, was it worth it? And I say, live your life in a manner that works what he has for you. Find the passion and the purpose for you to live your best life. Because I keep hearing some of the biggest inventors and creations is in the cemetery.
Right.
I don't want it to die with me. That's one of the reasons why I started this show. I want to be able to leave something that somebody else can hear me even when I'm gone. Not to just look at my last day, but to understand what I did during my day.
Right.
And that's why I need people to wake up. Because if you can see me and you can hear me, it could be you. No matter what it is. It doesn't mean you got to do a podcast. It doesn't mean you have to be on radio. It doesn't mean you have to be in film. It means you need to be the best person you are. And I bet you sooner or later I'm going to see you.
All right.
And I'm going to shout you out because I believe everybody need to be recognized, and then you might just be my friend because my friends celebrate each other. My haters, well, they just going to be my haters.
And see, that's what this conversation turned into a love conversation because we were really trying to talk about the difference between love and the actions of love. Because you cannot trust people who have incongruent actions from love. And we haven't yet just kind of, pinned the nail on this thing, but
let's try.
Takers. Can't trust takers.
Oh my goodness.
Somebody always with their hands out, somebody who just might sleight of hand you. They might lie to you. You can't trust people who don't tell the truth.
Right.
It immediately breeds mistrust when what you're telling me is different than what I see.
Yes.
That doesn't work.
It doesn't.
Right? People who you stand in the gap for them on a given situation, and we all have different, situations, different outlooks on this, but you support them in their greatest needs, but when it's time for you to get supported, they don't support you. That breeds mistrust, right?
Oh my goodness.
Have you ever had somebody to stab you in the back?
Yes, sir.
You ever had somebody to talk about you behind your back and they didn't realize that the person, they didn't realize that you got wind of what they said?
Yep.
Right? You ever had somebody snooping through your things and your stuff?
Yep.
And, and maybe take a little bit out and think you don't miss it?
Okay.
Right?
That hit me personally right there. Oh, Lord.
Why all of us that hit all of us because we've all had it happen, right? Here's one, Jay.
Talk to me.
You ever had somebody to steal your ideas?
You know something? Yes. When they took it, they never did no homework behind it. They thought it was just a great idea.
Right.
So then they turned it around, put their name on it, and then they ran with it. So then when I found out what they ran with, I was like, man, I remember telling that cat about that. I said, okay. Now, instead of being a real hater and trying to figure out why he took that from me, I was like, you know something? That was cool because I had other things going on at that time, so I really wasn't that pressed.
Right.
And then I just happened to come back. And I wasn't being sarcastic. I just happened to come back a year later and be like, yo, man, how did that venture work out, man? I heard you jumped out there on your own, man. We all need that inspiration. So, I hope you've been following me. How is it working for you?
Right.
Man, I don't even understand why I did that, dude. I wasted this and that. And, immediately I was wrong, y'all. And I shouldn't have been like this. I automatically got a little smile on my face. See, I wanted to say that's what you're behind get. Because you took it from me, but you didn't even want to ask me anything else about it, so you just figured you'd do your own equation. But guess what? Sometimes, folks, it takes you to do some things, to learn some things. Because later on, he did come to me, not apologizing for that, but start coming to me more advice.
Okay.
So I can't tell you no more that he's my friend. No, he's a person I keep with a wooden spoon. He's going to be only so close.
Right.
Because I didn't like that.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
But I don't hate on him, and I didn't push him, and I gave him real advice. And the advice I gave him was, to me, when I say real advice, please understand, it's my truth.
Right,
okay?
Right.
My truth might not be yours. And I really feel like the truth of the day is what you really willing to accept. Because there's a lot of things that's been told to us that I would love to challenge. And I don't want to do it on my show because it'd take too dang on long.
Right.
But some stuff don't make sense to me. And people cram it down our throats. And then you got to look at it. Because they always told me, well, numbers is always going to make sense. Right. Well, I had somebody throw something at me that didn't make sense to me. Because if I'm a 1 and you time me with a 0 and you say I'm automatically a 0, where I go?
Right. I'm
still here.
Right.
Okay? But if you take me times 1, then I'm just that number. Okay? But if I'm with that extra woman, I'm always going to be more. That's what's called a multiple. So it seems like it only really works after 2. So then it seems like the math makes sense. Now it's 2 of us, so 1 times 2, there you go. You're starting to look at it. Well, my whole thing is they teach us this and you automatically just accept it, but do you ask any questions? And my whole thing is we always should have questions. I don't question God. I don't question the spirit, but I question man and I question things that's been written and you telling me this what it is. I'm going to always ask questions, and it's not for me to be a sarcastic behind, but I want it to make sense to me. Help me make it make sense.
And watch this, Jay. You're hitting the nail right on the head on this one. People who take from you, people who lie from you, people who steal your ideas, people who might backstab you, and you catch wind of it, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to keep them at an arm's length.
Say it.
And after you keep them at an arm's length, they can only come inside of this sphere when they appropriately answer your questions. And sometimes it's not a direct question. Sometimes the question is, let me see how you behave. Because you're never going to come back in this inner circle if I see you doing that to other people.
Correct. Because you ain't changed.
Right. You have to keep an arm's length. For years of my life, I never understood, as I read the Word of God, I never understood why he was always telling us about rebuking. He was always telling us about, that there was an enemy. There was someone who will, kill, steal, and destroy. There was going to be spirits around you that would hurt you or try to keep you down or try to hinder your progress. And it took me years to get it. I had to be hit across the head a bunch of times before I finally got it. And what I got was that, hey, there are some people, there are some spirits in the world who don't mean me good. And if the Lord puts it in my heart, if I feel it here, if I kind of think it here, I need to keep that person at an arm's length.
Say it.
And what that really means is you don't let them in your inner world. You don't need to be telling them all about your business. You don't need to be telling them what you're doing here and what you're doing there and how much you got and where you're going. You need to keep yourself a little reserved when you come around those people, because they're looking to take your information and go and tell somebody else. Go and misrepresent you to other people. That's what the enemy does, right?
Yes.
And if you can't trust them, you absolutely need to believe that they are an enemy. Because if you start pouring out to your enemy, all they're going to do is take what you have shared with them and go and destroy you. They're going to go and hurt you. They're going to go and diminish you to other people. People who gossip a lot. You can't trust people. If you know they are a gossiper, if you know that you tell this person something and everything you tell them, they go back and tell somebody else, you got to stop pouring into them, because all they're doing is downplaying you when they talk to other people, right? This thing about asking questions to people who you don't trust, that means asking questions like, hey, can I really, really trust you again? And I don't know in your world what it's going to take to satisfy you that you can trust them again. But if they don't prove themselves worthy of your trust, do not give it to them. I can't say it no plainer than that. Do not give people your trust that you know that you can't trust.
I agree.
They've done something, lied to you on several occasions. They took some stuff from you. You can't let them back in your inner circle. And it's unfortunate we have to behave that way. But good is a minority in this world.
Ain't that sad?
It's a sad reality.
That's
Good
sad.
people and goodness is on the short side of life. It's a minority in this world. And so we always have to have our head on a swivel. We've always got to be asking ourselves questions about the people around us. Now, there are those people who, I remember Biggie, right? The Notorious B.I.G. He said this line. He said, your moms will set that ass up properly gassed up, hoodied and masked up for that fast buck. She be waiting in the bushes to light that ass up. Right? And
y'all ain't know Kraft was a rapper.
I love rap because it promotes so much wisdom if you just take time to listen to what they're saying. But what he's saying is, I can have a brotherly person right next to me. They've been there for years, but I made it to such height in my life, they get a little jealous.
Yep.
They get a little, angry and upset about where I'm moving to.
Yep.
And I got they back 100,000%. I'll help them get anything they want. But now I hear they start talking about me on the backside. They start saying stuff. They want to bring me down. They don't, they believed in my vision up until now, and I supported them all the way through what they needed, but they don't want to believe in my vision going forward. And if they do, they want to be hidden about their agenda. Sometimes the people who are right in your side pocket can change. And that's a major thing to learn. If you talk to all the great celebrities, they'll tell you that at some point this person was by their side through thick and thin, and all of a sudden
he changed.
They started trying to build their own business off of what I was doing. They started trying to sell off some of the ideas that I had to somebody else. They started trying to be me, and ultimately they're going to fail at that because they can't be me. No. But what I get to do is I get to see who they really are.
Say it.
And if I can tell you nothing else as we close this show, you have to always keep your head on a swivel.
Say it.
You know that your mother loves you. You know that your brother loves you. You know that this guy's been with you for 20 years. But there's nothing wrong with keeping your head on a swivel.
Nothing.
Right? Because as my man said in the 5 Heartbeats, every day I got to prove my love.
What?
And that's what keeps life going. Every day I got to prove my love. Today I was late coming to the studio. And I'm talking about an hour and a half late. Right?
Right.
But the very first thing I wanted to do was make sure my team knew that I'm still a part of the team. I'm not trying to drag and lag, and I don't expect no special favors. I don't need none of that. But I want them to know I'm still here and I'm still dedicated. And so I owe them something for me being so late today. But they understand my heart. They understand we've been here for 500 shows.
Yes.
And this was just an anomaly that happened. It's not going to be my daily behavior. So next week, I'll make sure I'll be here early. Right? But let's not ever think that we are too good to prove our love to anybody around us. Mm-hmm. And so this idea of mistrust is one of those that we have to always keep asking questions.
That's right.
We have to always be mindful of what's really going on in front of us.
Let me ask.
Don't put a rose-colored glasses on it. Look through the shade.
Let me have some fun with you.
Go
Even
ahead.
though Kraft said he was late, when he came in, nobody said anything. We kind of laughed, we chuckled because we get right back into radio mode.
Yeah.
But one thing that he did do, he did apologize, and he made sure that was very clear on the way in. And we accepted. We had no problem with it. That's why we joke and we play, but we know that's not him.
Right.
So again, when he told us how it might have happened, we listened and we was like, okay. Because now we're going to go right back. And he said, I'm going to make it up. You made it up by being here. Mm. Now, see, that's the difference when you got people in your inner circle. He says when things happen, and they explain it and it makes sense, you just keep it moving.
Right.
Now, when things don't make sense to me, after this show, I got to sit down and figure it out because I want to know more. And that's what I hold my kids to and people in my circle.
There you go.
When you way outside my circle, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to show you I care like that because I only care with a wooden spoon.
Yeah.
Everybody cannot affect you, but the ones that's close to you should make sense to you. So when they do something, they should be able to explain it and it should make sense. And that's why I wanted to go back to that because you want to know how to handle it. This is a situation where it's easy to handle when you have a better understanding of the person.
There you
and
go.
That's going to be up to you.
And let me tell you, I think Jay just really cleared it for us as we close out this show. If it doesn't make sense, don't trust it.
Come on.
If it's not congruent, if it doesn't line up, if the story has gaping holes in it, then you know there's some BS in it.
Hello.
We have to learn to protect ourselves from the enemy. And whether they're inside or outside of the circle, just because somebody love you don't mean they want to go the same direction that you want to go. And so now you still love them, but you can't trust their ideas. You can't trust their direction because they're pulling differently. So this thing goes 360 by 360.
Come on.
But more than that, just because you don't trust somebody don't mean you can't express unconditional love.
Come on. I always love that unconditional love. You
Unconditional love. I love you whether you're on my team or not on my team. I just need to know so I can make sure and appropriate my resources.
Come on.
And I don't know if you got something else on the subject,
No,
but we out of time.
I think you said enough. Yeah. And again, man, we appreciate everybody that listen. Please make sure y'all listen, like, subscribe.
Yes.
YouTube, Facebook. And again, the more people we can get to listen to this, the more people we can possibly help. I'm trying to do small clips to get more things out there to everybody. One of the things I want to tell you is we took our time to do this. We came away, and I like to say we in corporate America, we doing big things, okay?
Yes, sir.
And we always make time to come back to do this for the world, all right? The cost is not even important to us, okay?
Right.
Yes, do we get paid from other things? Man, we've been very blessed.
Very
But
blessed.
when we do this, it's enriching others, and we just want more people to listen, share, and just know we're doing this out of kindness and the act of love, and God is in our favor.
There you go. There you go. And this has been Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And we're here every Thursday, 7 to 8, Facebook Live.
Yes,
we're on
yes.
all the other major platforms. As Jay said, please like, share, subscribe, subscribe. Bring your friends and family and come and spend some quality time. This is self-development time, and we want you to get something good out of it for your spirit. We love you, folks. We very much appreciate you. And with that, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
That was